Welcome back to another episode of Podcast P, presented to you by PrizePicks, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original. It is your host, PG-13, and I'm joined with my guys, Dallas Rutherford and Jackie Long.
Yeah!
And we have, once again, another special guest coming off an amazing 2023 season. Second All-Star nod, most improved player, and just an all-around star.
Keep talking.
Okay? We got none other than the unicorn, Satou Sabally. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
How we doing?
I'm feeling great.
You feeling great?
Enjoying some LA air.
Okay. So you said you just got in about 4 hours ago.
Correct. Yeah.
She came right over to see us, fellas.
Now that's
Yeah.
That's love right there.
Yeah.
That is special.
That's a real fan of Podcast P.
A fan of Podcast P. We got to ask about the viral Grant Williams moment.
I seen him go from
There was no briefing on that.
Yeah,
You know, you
It's
kind of got to
cool.
break the ice early.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think a lot of people are asking that question.
Because I wanted to know, like, you know, what do
you want to know?
Is he asking for the gamer tag? Like, is he, you know,
the game.
Was it a good line at
So
least?
Grant-
What did he
Was
hit
the
you
pickup
with?
line good?
Oh, everyone want to know. Okay, let me talk.
Nosy.
Grant and I are friends,
Okay.
and we've been friends before the situation happened.
Okay.
I don't know why his contact was open. He had my number. He had my number already. No, I think, we're really respectable, work partners, I would even say.
Yeah.
He's like a vice president of the NBPA. I am from the WNBPA. So every time when I'm in meetings, Grant is the person that I text, hey, how do you guys do it in the NBA? Like,
Got it.
I want the same stuff, right? So I need to ask someone that's experienced and knows the deal. And he's very smart, and yeah, I feel like I can learn a lot from him. But I mean,
Come on now.
like,
It was
was
funny.
the hug, it was the cameras around. Like, everyone is
Come on.
everyone I think is also interested in who I'm talking to, so they will blow everything up when I talk to a man, and it's just whatever.
So y'all ain't never been on no date?
No, Grant and I know. No, we've never
Okay.
been on a date.
I'm just being a little nosy, just making sure.
Did
Yeah.
you guys talk about the situation after, like laughed
Yeah,
about
we
it a
did.
little bit? Because
We
I could
did.
imagine that conversation was like, why did you have your contact up?
I asked him that, but he said it was a mistake, blah, blah, because he had my number.
Yeah.
But when he walked in with my most improved t-shirt, he told me the night before, he's like, oh, I'm going to walk in with your t-shirt. I'm like, yo, everyone is going to talk
You're
about
doing
it.
too much.
Yeah, but then, I was being kind of messy too and tweeted, oh, he got my number. I knew it
Yeah.
would blow up, so I'm like, all right.
Now
You know
y'all
what's
play
funny?
dead.
It was a
Like,
funny situation.
If Grant didn't notice, you know what I mean? Like, if Grant
No.
thought like he actually had a chance and like,
Yeah.
and now, hey, sorry, Grant, it was all
You
a joke.
messed it
man.
all up
You're
for yourself,
staying in the
brother.
friend zone.
No, we're friends.
You're in
we're
the friend zone,
friends.
but no, I'm just playing. Where did the nickname Unicorn come from?
From my college coach, Kelly Graves.
Okay.
He was always kind of impressed by how many interests I have, how I act on the floor, my versatility. So he was just like, oh, Satou, you're such a unicorn.
Yeah,
And that kind of stuck along with my game.
yeah, one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
I was explaining to them in the back like your play style, your game,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, she's tall and she can handle and she can kind of
Mhm.
do everything on the floor.
Yeah.
And to coach's credit, I think it was great that he kind of saw that uniqueness and just one of a kind type of talent that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So that name is going around, like people in the WNBA are calling you Unicorn as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get called Miss Unicorn like on the street, and it's so cute. I think maybe I'm like slowly outgrowing like the, childish unicorn
Yeah.
phase, but it's more so, in the business world, when you have your little unicorn status.
Yeah.
Special. So I think it's nice. I think I associate it also with like other people being able to have that magic and like, hey, everyone can be their own little unicorn,
Mhm.
right? Everyone has their own story. Everyone is unique. And I kind of like that aspect.
Mhm.
And like I say on my Instagram handle, I'm your favorite unicorn. So it goes
Please
along
tell
with
me
the
you
story.
monetizing this. Like you gotta be
I am not.
You gotta have a brand of this or something.
No, I'm actually not. No, I have a friend who has like a unicorn foundation in Loreto, Mexico, and they support
Unicorn Foundation.
yeah,
Save
in
unicorns.
Mexico, and they support a young girls team, and they travel all around Mexico.
Oh, that's awesome.
I go there for vacation sometimes, and it's like a full basketball system for young girls there, and I love it. They also built a court for them, so I donated some money last year from my community reward. Yeah, so. But no, I should be, huh?
You should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a bag out there waiting.
Yeah.
A unicorn bag just waiting.
Unicorn bag.
A unicorn bag.
Yeah.
PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the PrizePicks community today.
With PrizePicks, you can turn $10 into $1,000 in a single game watching your favorite sports this summer. You can make a PrizePick lineup in as little as 60 seconds. You just need to pick more or less 2 to 6 players, stat projections, and you're locked in. Just like that.
Jackie, you want to show the people how it's done? Let's do some more or less projections
Come on,
for
we
players
do.
in Monday's Fever versus Sun game.
Come
So
on.
the first one's going to be more or less Caitlin Clark for 20 points.
Less?
Okay, less. Interesting pick.
Yep.
More or less on Aaliyah Boston, 10 rebounds.
Less?
Okay, 2 in a row. More or less on Kelsey Mitchell for 15 points.
I go there. I go more.
Okay.
I go more. All right, it's your turn, Dallas. More or less, DeWanna Bonner, 20 points.
She's a bucket. I'm going to go more.
More or less, Alyssa Thomas, 7 rebounds.
I'm going to take less.
All right. Well, that's how it works, y'all. It's that easy.
There's always action on PrizePicks, and this is the perfect time to try out something new as basketball is winding down. Make sure to try out esports this month because every Wednesday and Saturday in June, if your lineup doesn't win, you'll get your entry fee back. Choose from Counter-Strike 2, Call of Duty, League of Legends, and more.
Download the app today and use code PODCASTP for a first deposit matchup to $100. I repeat, download the app today and use code PODCASTP for a first deposit matchup to $100. Pick more, pick less. Dallas, it's that easy, right?
And what do we say, Jackie? Cha-ching!
Now back to the show. So unicorn. So unicorn.
Yeah.
You was born in New York,
Mm-hmm.
but you grew up in Gambia and Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did you find the interest in basketball?
I think it kind of found me, and because of my size, I was always relatively tall. And then I went to like a girls' basketball day. I had no idea about basketball. I don't know, not really have been affiliated with it.
Mhm.
But then I was just running around, chasing the ball and, just playing free. And it was so fun. And then I started out in a boys' team and I loved it. Like, I loved playing. And yeah, that's how I kind of started. It was super random, but
Yeah.
Is it? I heard. I don't know if this is true. You can let me know now. They say because you was outside playing basketball at 9 years old,
Mhm.
a local coach said she tall as hell. Let me get her. You come play basketball.
Yeah, I was actually on the playground. I wasn't even playing basketball. Like, it was right next to our school. And then she asked my mom, she's like, "Oh, do they play basketball?" She's like, "No." And then
Wait, it was
they asked me. It was random.
It was a lady coach.
Yeah, Gary.
Oh, you still talk to that lady today?
I do. She comes to all my national team games in
Oh,
Berlin.
there we go. That's dope.
She's a real one.
She saw the
really.
unicorn early.
Yeah.
She did. She did.
Her.
She takes pride in
We
that.
need her.
So she's really part of your. Of course, you doing your thing, but part
Yeah.
of your success to make you
For sure.
get
For
into
sure.
to that game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
you
really
had to
grateful.
have like some like, because I know like especially for girls the coordination part of it comes a little later, especially when you're tall. I have an older sister that's 6'4", so watching her like the coordination, she had to work on that, and I wouldn't have necessarily would have said my sister's a basketball player when I first saw her.
Really?
Other than
Yeah.
the height, she was
Yeah.
tall, but
Yeah.
the coordination took a little bit of time. Like,
Yeah.
was the coordination just always there, and then it was just putting the skills behind it?
Yeah, I think because I played so many other sports, like I did judo, I did gymnastics, so I feel like a lot of coordination came from that.
Yeah,
I played soccer, typical German childhood, you play soccer.
yeah.
So I was pretty good already in hand-eye coordination, like my feet were doing good, and it just all kind of clicked. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
want
it
to
kinda
speak.
came
Speaking of soccer,
Uh-huh.
is it true that all basketball courts are on soccer fields?
The majority, yeah, in Berlin. Now it kind of changed a little bit, but growing up, there was always like if you wanted to find basketball courts, they were always on a soccer field.
Why?
In schools. Soccer is the #1 sport.
Yeah.
Basketball is not really a priority.
But why would they put it on the court on the same
'Cause
field
it
if they want to
fits.
keep people what?
It fits. Like you have a soccer court field that's so big, and let's say it's like asphalt, not really grass or fake grass.
Mhm.
And then, you can put a basketball court kind of like
It's like
Right
a
next to
2-in-1.
it.
You
Yeah,
can put
2-in-1.
tennis
Yeah.
court.
I understand,
Yeah,
but it's
it
like,
fits.
If
It is
multiple
crazy.
not
Yeah.
big, why would you put
with these
the
bum
basketball
rims.
court
They
next to
didn't have
the
a lot of
field?
space.
I understand.
Yeah.
Efficient. If we talk about efficiency,
You
they're
know, I'm just
efficient.
asking. I'm trying to be nosy.
No, but you're right.
I
You're right.
didn't- you
It does
know,
happen.
That's weird when I heard that.
I have my own court though in Berlin, so
Oh,
that's a
Hey.
full
shout out to your
basketball
give a
court.
shout out to your court. What's your name of your court? Unicorn?
Satou Sabally basketball court.
Yay.
Satou Sabally.
And where's this? In Berlin?
Yeah, in Berlin.
Okay.
At the old airport.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
We've been to Germany.
Hey,
Really?
we
We went to
hey,
We
we
were
had a
in,
blast in
time?
Germany.
We did.
And it was just so interesting.
Yeah.
But you mentioned just earlier that you started playing with the boys team
Mm-hmm.
when you first got into basketball. How did those early stages of playing with those boys affect the way you play today?
It hardened me, I would say. It just made me a little tough. But I think it's always in me. But when you play with boys, they don't really give you the ball first. Like you're the girl, you can't hoop. And I really couldn't hoop at first, right? But then at some point you earn your respect, you get the ball more, you score more, and I ended up being the best player on the team. So I think that was the first time and I wasn't really conscious of that, where I had to like prove my worth.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me a really good player, and it made me being able to, interact with a lot of guys. In my future classes, I was like 1 or 2 girls in my sports class. So I feel like I've been early on exposed to, guys who hoop, and I was comfortable with it. And I think that does help. And also it helps with the connectedness of, I watch your game and I see the difference between men's and women's. Because at some point, once I hit puberty, it kind of changed, right? Like guys would get stronger and they were faster, like a lot more faster than me all of a sudden. And I felt that. So I also saw the different routes we took, right? In terms of support that the guys got and support that I got. Although I felt like, hey, we started out the same. Why do you go to all these cool international tournaments and I'm still here,
Right.
not getting that? Or on tournaments when, I don't know, they would get all the gear and we would get not even a sports bra, which would have been great,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So things like that. I
Right.
think it was good for perspective.
And when you got into basketball, did you have any, players that you would watch that you would gravitate to? Like, who were your favorite players when you first got into basketball?
So, I loved Kobe, LeBron. I think those were like the big ones. My first NBA game that I wanted to watch was Derrick Rose. I was a big Derrick Rose fan, but the game before, I think he tore his ACL and I saw it on the screen. I got everything. I was on my little computer at home. Mind you, it's at night in
Right.
Germany, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, Derrick Rose is someone where I was like, I need to watch my first NBA game.
Yeah.
That's a
But
good one.
on the women's side, Maya Moore is my fave. Candace
GOAT.
Parker. Actually, you too. Like in college,
Thank you.
I wore
There
your
we go.
shoes too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Kobe actually signed your shoe, and my coach was like, "You know how crazy that is."
That
I'm
is
like,
crazy.
"Yeah,
That is crazy. You still got that shoe?
I do. Yeah,
How much you want for
it's
it?
mine.
He like,
When
Giving that away.
I don't even got that. How much you want for
Yeah,
that?
I'm
yeah.
surprised he signed your shoe.
Yeah,
I know.
When
Yeah, I
was
was so
this?
thankful. He looked at me like, "Please."
When talk a little bit about that. When did he sign the shoe?
That was in college. My last year, we played at USC, and Kobe came to our game, and
Wow.
that was
Did you guys
so
like
crazy.
know ahead of time that Kobe would be there, or is it kind of just
No,
like
not
a pop
really.
up? Oh shit, Kobe's here.
Yeah, they knew, but they didn't really want to tell us. But then he was on the sideline, and I'm warming up, and Kobe really sat there and like watched
Yeah.
Yeah, he
me
was
warm
watching.
up, and I'm
He's
just,
sitting there.
I gotta make all these shots right now. Like, let me chill, let me be cool. But yeah, then he came into our locker room, and it was just, I don't know, like such a great memory.
He didn't
Yeah.
have no jersey or nothing for you, neither?
I had a book.
A book?
It's called, I think, The Mentality of an Athlete or something, from like the team psychologist from the
Mhm.
Lakers. And what is the book called? I can't remember, but he wrote in it, and he wrote a little note for me in it too. And that's like my absolute Kobe
You
moment.
gotta get a tattoo of that note.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you already
Do
did?
epic things. It's like my little mantra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about like what was the competition like
Mm-hmm.
as you're growing up, you're aging now, you're not playing co-ed basketball with the boys anymore, but now you're amongst the girls in Germany. What was that competition like?
It was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, these girls can hoop. I loved it. I didn't have to go in a different locker room anymore. I just felt like, oh, this is nice. Like, I have my community of girls, like, with the same interests, you know, and I just felt like I belonged more. Like, I really felt that comfort. You know how you are in a locker room, like, you just feel that sense of community. And that's what I really felt once I started playing with girls, and I loved it. So I really cherish, like, you know, being in that space of womanhood, even now in the league, even when I came to college. That was just a really great thing. I felt like, okay, wow. Like, girls can play. That was really the first time, because I was only around boys, right? So I had also some thoughts like, oh, girls can't even play. Like, girl, no,
Right.
like, go and compete. And I was
Right.
nervous before games because, like, there were really other good players. So it was cool. I loved
Okay.
it. Yeah.
And then so now you become the first international player to play in the Jordan Classic game for the girls game. Now you're playing against American girls. How was that for your first time competing against American girls?
That was nerve-wracking. I was so nervous.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was so nervous.
Was there like names that you were like, you've heard of?
No. No. I didn't know anyone. Nobody knew me.
Yeah.
Super random, but I also, you know, I came off the bench. I had like 1 or 2 points, I think. Like, I sucked. I was so nervous being in Barclays Center. I've never seen a gym like that. I've never seen an arena like that, but I just soaked up the whole weekend.
The whole
like
energy, huh?
Ray Allen spoke to us. I was just there, like, having fun. And then I think now, more in the aftermath, I realize how crazy that actually is. That I was the first international player. It was cool. It was a great experience.
So how did it come about? Like,
my college coach, one of my assistant coaches, Mark Campbell, and Jordan, I think they had already had an eye on me back then, and they must have done something in the back, because I mean, Oregon, I already had committed Nike school, right? Tinker, just like, you know, the guy for the special Jordan edition. So I feel like there was a lot of going on in the back, because they already knew my name and my potential. And then I got invited, and it was in the middle of Abitur, which is like the finals in high school in Germany, which is really big. And I just flew out in the middle of those finals, went to New York for a couple of days. My sister came with me. We had to like save up money so she could come.
yeah.
Like, my cousin, you know, gave her some cash and was like, no, buy the ticket so she could come with me. So I wasn't alone.
Okay.
It was a whole experience. And yeah, it was really special.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What were the biggest differences just from the basketball standpoint of like Germany basketball and then coming over here and play? What would you say was the biggest difference for you?
Level of play, for sure. It was very advanced. They were a lot faster, more physical. But I did think that I was better in terms of reading the game. I thought I was more skilled in a pick and roll. And even now, I feel like I got that from my European style of basketball, because I already played with women, right? But in the pros, technically. But that was the biggest difference for me, at how physical and how the mentality also went into the game. I think you guys grow up here already knowing like, oh, I'm doing this. This is what I have ahead of me. I had no clue. I went to Oregon. I didn't know what the tournament was.
Yeah.
Like,
So that is
we
crazy.
get into the NCAA tournament. I'm like, so how does this work?
So you win and then you keep playing. Okay.
Yeah. And
what
then
seed are we?
it was crazy. And I mean, I graduated in 3 years, and now I'm looking back at my journey, and I'm like, yo, what the heck did you actually just do? And I look at the tournament now, being on TV, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I really played in that.
Yeah.
Not knowing what's going on.
What was
so
going on, huh?
I think there was an innocence to it too that actually had me free of mind, free of pressure.
Well, speaking of Germany and Oregon, before you left Germany and going to Oregon in 2017, you stayed in Germany to play for the professional team out there. So I just want to know, how was that experience before starting your freshman year in college? How was that for you?
It was really hard because that was the first time I was in the pros, and I was still, I lived alone. I was 17, moved out from my house. I have 6 siblings, so that was the first time I had my own room. I felt super isolated, and I was with people that they make their living of this, so they were super competitive. So I did my classes, finished high school, and competed against other women, and I just never felt good enough. But I know it just made me so much better because I'm like 17 years old. So I think it made me very good, but it was a very hard time for me. Like those 2 years, I would say, really hardened me up and prepared me even for the now. Like for being with other people that are making their living of what they do.
Yeah. So I'm sure it had to be like some hating going on.
Oh, for sure.
Like, who is this young girl coming around thinking they're going to take our spot?
Yeah, like, and pushed down, stared down by this 34-year-old woman.
And
I'm
she
like,
don't even know what the NCAA tournament is.
Yeah.
I'm setting a screen.
Yeah, it was crazy. I have some crazy stories about that, but it's just haters gonna hate.
Yeah,
so.
right.
In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm at the same level as you and I'm 17. I'm better.
I'm better than you. Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't say that though.
But that's what you think. No, that's how you got to think about
Yeah.
it. Like, just imagine where I'm going to be in a couple years to where, you're finishing at.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was so mad at her.
Let's reminisce on the time.
I want to hear this story now because I
hear
feel
it.
like it's still like, give us one of those stories.
Are we unloading trauma?
I mean, this is an open space. I
Open
think it'd be
space,
good for everyone just to
No,
kind
it's
of,
just-
We're pro mental health here.
better health.
Okay, that's cool.
This is a safe place.
So it happened. I don't know. She was a hater. Like, literally in a drill, pushed me down, stared me down. It's like, what are you going to say? And I just like got up real quick because I'm just like, nah, I can't get, back down like that. But I didn't really say a lot. And then teammates got in between. But that was just a moment when I was really like, nah, you really, like, first of all, you're jealous. You don't wish me well. And you must suck. So
Right.
I don't know. That was just,
And she did suck.
it's uncomfortable to,
Pushing
she
you.
did suck. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Can we cuss? Because
Yeah.
fuck her.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
So you had a super successful career in college, and you got the opportunity to play alongside Sabrina during those 3 years at Oregon. Just walk us through, what that experience was like and being able to go about your collegiate career with her.
She's amazing. Like, I have learned so much from her. Just her work ethic was always so strong in college. Like, she would be in a gym doing these extra workouts. Just her mindset too. Like, before the game, I remember that I'm more so like, hey, like checking in on teammates, right? Like loosening up the mood a little bit. And she was like laser focused, barely talking. And that was the moment I was like, I like you.
Yeah.
I like you. You take this shit serious. So that's how we bonded too. We were both people that just took everything serious, like every single possession. We could talk about the game in a way that you couldn't really talk to other people about because you see different things. And then, just seeing her go out there and compete every day, like that's what you want in a teammate. And that's the type of teammate you want in your corner. So lots of respect. Like, I'm happy for her professional career. Like, it's amazing. Her shoe, like, she's doing great things. And I think even her triple doubles in college, like, that was dope. It was cool to witness that.
And it's kind of full circle, right? Your little sister plays with the Liberty now, right? Yeah, that's awesome.
She does, yeah. Nyara's with them. And I think it's good because I know she's in good hands.
In good hands,
around
right.
good people, yeah.
Right. Love that.
Speaking of Sabrina, when y'all both declared to go to the WNBA draft, now tell me, be honest now, did y'all both know y'all was going to be picked 1 and 2?
I think she had a pretty clear sense that she was going to be the number 1.
You didn't?
I left earlier. So I left a year early and I was kind of going back and forth between, do I want another year or do I not want another year? And I'm glad I decided before COVID that I would declare for the draft. And, after our USA game, which was really big. But I was never really aware that I would be that good. And then once it was like, okay, do you want to wait a year and be the number 1 next year? It was more so like, okay, no, it's fine. I'll just,
Just
go
go.
out and start my professional career because that's really what I came for in America. I wanted to graduate and do school because school is very important to me. And I think that's kind of being lost now in the conversation of going to college for collegiate sports. Like, no, you want your degree. Like, that's really special. And that's a really cool thing about America. Like, you have everything set up for you to get a free education and hoop. And then you can go professional. So that was like my thing. So when they were telling me, oh, no, you're going to be up there, like maybe even one, right? That was for me a shock. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do this.
I like that.
So you knew right away, like
baby.
your name being top 3 was enough for you to be like, you know what? That's
I knew I was going to be top 4.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be a lottery pick. Because my coach they told me, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm ready.
Did your parents give you some advice?
Not really. They don't. My parents are not really in sports. Yeah, and I mean, I was so far away from home. I did a lot on my own, I would have to say, but then I also had a great support system here. But they would just tell me, like, you came for your education and you completed that. I would have gone to law school if I would have stayed, but it's really hard to manage that with college. So I just decided I was ready for the next step, and I had already played pro, so I was ready.
So when you're done with the WNBA, you law school.
For sure. No, for sure.
What did you study in college? What was your degree in?
I did Soj, like crime law and society. I wanted to do international human rights, but I wouldn't have been able to finish that in 4 years. And then I have a legal studies minor.
Awesome. This girl's smart.
Yeah.
Einstein.
Yeah. Einstein, yeah.
Unicorn.
Not that smart, I wish. But
I love this.
Yeah.
You mentioned COVID, right? And we talked with Tyrese Halliburton about his struggles going through the whole COVID process, or going through his rookie year during COVID time.
That was the bubble?
Yeah, his rookie year was the bubble year.
Yeah, Sam.
So that was your rookie year as well. He talked to us and he, explained his struggles going through that process. Did you have kind of problems or struggles mentally, or just, being in the W now, being in the professional league now, did you have those same struggles now with COVID happening?
For sure, but what affected me more during COVID was the whole Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
I think that was like very prevalent for me, and that was the most touching time for me, because I would just, you would be in your house, watch TV, and you would see all the protests, and I just felt so helpless.
Right.
And then you would be in this bubble, and I would play basketball, and I just felt like this is not a priority. This shouldn't be a priority. But what I loved about the WNBA is that we created the space of being able to talk about political things like that. We were able to talk about George Floyd in a safe space, and I don't know, like it was just so much going on that I really felt I was in a space that embraced Blackness, and I was in a space that really embraced being able to express yourself and still be an athlete. And that made it easier for me to play. And rookie years are hard. Rookie years are very hard. Everyone goes against you, especially when you're on top of the list. But I just felt like it was still good, because basketball is what you do when you're sad too, right? So that has always been for me an outlet where I feel like, okay, I don't have to think as much. And even though the rookie season was hard, I still found comfort in the game, and I loved it. It was weird playing without fans, but it was cool too. Like, you didn't have to travel, you were in there.
That was probably the only pros to it.
Yeah,
everything
it was
else,
weird.
Everything else, like, I hate it.
Did you hate seeing your opponents like at dinner?
Yeah, seeing them, or like you'll be on the elevator, like you'll get like right after a game, you go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Right, you're going on the elevator.
Yeah.
Boom. It's the other team. Like,
yeah, you just want to rip their head off.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna just take the next one.
For sure.
Then the next one comes down. It's, say now another team that you played 2 days ago. Like, it was just nonstop. You just running into these people, and it's like you literally had to like pack up. Like we weren't moving around solo. You had to pack up when you're moving around the campus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's safe to say that bubble experience was just tragic, right?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay, bro.
No, 'cause I was-
thought you were
That's
gonna
trauma
say
too, by the way. That's trauma.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
That is. This has turned into a therapy session for myself now.
That's great.
Being drafted to Dallas and hailing from Germany led to a lot of comparisons with the legendary Dirk Nowitzki. Just regarding the impact of the game in your home country, what was your reaction when you kind of started to receive those types of comparisons?
You know, being able to be compared with a Hall of Famer is crazy. I mean, I grew up idolizing him, obviously. Yeah, I definitely should have thrown his name in there too. Sorry, Dirk. Sure you're gonna No, but I remember when he was in Berlin and he pulled up in a car and he was just so authentically himself and just broke up the room with a smile and with his appearance where I'm like, I want to be like him when I'm a pro, where I don't feel too good for other people. And that is what he embodies to me. He supports me throughout my professional career. His wife is just amazing. Like, they're a great family and just so smart too, right? So when I struggled, for example, with my shooting or just with the game itself, I'm like, hey, what do you see? You know, and I mean, being able to do that is still a dream come true too. Like, I never thought I would have his number and I would have access, which he also gives me because he's really generous and also wants me to succeed. And I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah, that's definitely a cheat code. You can have Dirk in your back pocket like that. Where is Dirk from relative to where you're from?
I think he's from Wiesbaden, right? Or Würzburg? Würzburg, yeah. See, that's a little small town compared to Berlin.
Okay.
No hate. I think it's like 6 hours, 7.
Okay,
with
so
the
he's
car.
he's a little further out.
Yeah,
Is that like
he's a
more
little
like
further.
countryside?
Just because I'm a city kid, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I know Dirk speaks very highly of you, just about your consistency, right, of getting better every year. Have you like had conversations of working together? Like, do you plan to get together with Dirk to try to, you know, improve even more? Maybe the patent signature fade away, add to the bag.
Yeah, I should, huh? Yes,
Okay.
but I was always overseas. And he was like, well, whenever you're here, I'm not here, because he travels to Europe in the summer because it's too hot in Dallas for him.
Okay.
But yes, and he actually gave me the contact of one of his trainers, Mike, and I've been working out with him a lot in the off season. So even before the Olympic qualifications, like, I worked out with Mike. He will text me at halftime and just kind of tell me, hey, what he sees. And I really love that because I really don't talk to people during halftime. And I prefer not to be on my phone, but I'll literally see what he says. And I trust him because he worked with Dirk. And I know he used to work with the Mavs too. And he's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he gave me resources. And even like, Germans are really big on dentists and stuff, so just, you know.
Really? Like he referred you a dentist?
Yeah, he did. Like little things like that, you know.
Yeah,
where
I
I'm
should have
like,
got the number.
yeah.
I just got my wisdom pulled like
Oh, how was that?
5 days ago.
Yeah. How was
He
that?
been-
I don't- you don't
bad.
even look
Quick,
swollen
though.
though.
I don't. The beard hides it.
Okay.
The beard definitely
Oh,
hides
does
it.
it hurt?
It was bad. Like, I
had
thought
that too.
I literally thought I was gonna die of like just bleeding to death.
Okay. That's a little dramatic.
Yeah.
No,
It does
no exaggeration.
feel weird. It does feel weird.
It feels
Yeah.
weird. Like, I literally was just like gushing out blood, like just
You didn't see
gushing.
it
They
when
knocked
we-
you out, right?
You didn't see it when we was playing the game?
Nobody knocked me
Okay.
out.
Good.
yeah,
You
I
were
was
not.
calm.
They
I
put
was
you to
calm.
sleep. You didn't go through
Yeah,
that
you were
thing,
asleep.
fool.
Yeah, they put me. asleep.
I'm
I
about
was-
to say.
I was on
Woke up
that.
feeling
I don't
good.
like the way he phrased it. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't get knocked out. Okay.
Pause.
Pause that. But yeah, keep it going.
Keep it
He
going.
said okay.
Well, this is not a segment, but I'm gonna call it a segment. This is called zone mode.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's zone mode because last
mode.
season you had an
He
incredible.
just made up his own
Look, hey,
segment.
the producers were like, "Oh shit!"
You see how I
Yeah,
did that?
love
They
it.
say
You see how I did
stop.
that?
Started some new shit.
It's my zone. It's my zone.
He just made up
Zone
a whole
mode.
segment.
Come on,
Presented to you by
second
I need to
Monkey.
look at my team. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It's called zone mode. It's
All right.
because I'm gonna ask you. Last season, you had an incredible game where you scored your career high 40 points,
Mhm.
which you secured you a spot in the playoffs with the Dallas,
Mhm.
and then you went on to make 7-3. So I call it zone spot because you was in a zone. How does it feel when you're in a zone like that?
Feels good, but you're also like, let's keep this going. And you don't
Mhm.
want this to be something special, I would say. Like, when people talk about that game, I'm like, no, that should be the standard. And I know I have really high standards for me,
Right,
but yeah, you're just in a tunnel. Like you have that tunnel vision. You make your shots too, so you're like quicker to release on the next shot. And I feel like it just boosts you up. It gives you confidence. And yeah, I liked it. Especially, yeah.
Are you like superstitious? Like
not that much.
No. So like what
I
you
don't
did
shave
to get
on a
that
game
40.
day. So I guess I am
But like you got that 40 piece, right? So are you like, let me whatever I did to get that 40, like let me try to eat the same thing. Let me try to take a nap at the same time. Like are you?
It's more so a confirmation that I'm doing things right.
Okay.
Like last season was a confirmation for me that I should trust in the process, right? It's that cliche saying trust the process, but it's so true. You put the work in, it's gonna show. And I really put a lot of work in. And I think in games like that, when you're like, oh no, let's clinch, like you want to be on that mode. You're in playoff mode. You're
your zone.
Yeah, you're in the zone, and you bring yourself into that.
Zone. This is zone mode segment.
Yeah. It's more so like knowing what it is and finding comfort in that, being there again, wanting to be there again. Yeah.
See, I used to think I wasn't superstitious, but
Are you?
I think
like
I am.
What? How?
Like if I had a great game and I went for 40 or 45, whatever I did that day, I'm gonna try to repeat and do the same thing. Like if it was a song I listened to, I'm listening to that same song again. Or if it was something I ate, I'm eating the same thing again. So I gotta say,
I
I'm kind
assume
of
all athletes is superstitious for sure. All athletes.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Nah, because it's a fine line of being superstitious and then having a routine.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, right?
If you had a bad game.
You said that right.
I said that right. Okay.
Sounded
if
good.
you had a bad game and you ate pasta before.
I'm not eating pasta no
it's
more.
over for
Really?
the pasta.
Yeah, throwing pasta for a cool month. Pasta is
No more pasta.
Okay.
No more pasta.
Okay. I'm like that with shoes.
See,
Like,
there we go.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah. If I wear a pair of shoes and I have a bad game, I'm literally not touching that shoe.
Not touching that shoes again.
I'm cool.
See, for me, the shoes things come from just like it's weird. I know when I'm like super integrated into a game based off of my shoes. So like a lot of people will see me wear shoes and then I'll switch off in like first quarter or something like that. It's just because like I don't feel I'm connected to the game the way I need to be.
I feel that.
So I'll switch my shoes and certain shoes make me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I feel that. What's your favorite shoe?
The PG line.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
That's how it goes, bro.
I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
If I had to say. I mean, I'm a huge Kobe fan as well, so I wore a lot of his shoes and will continue to wear a lot of his shoes. My favorite all-time Kobe's are probably the Kobe 4s, though.
Okay.
That was like the shoes I wore in college was the Kobe 4s, and I loved them. And I still have them. They're like talking to me and like ripped
special,
apart.
Though.
Yeah, they're special.
That's special. Yeah.
I remember my wife had them. She was like, "Do you want these?" They're like, "You can't wear these anymore." I'm like, "Do I want those?"
Don't touch those.
Yeah.
Put them in the front of my shoe closet.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a thirst, a drive to be the next big thing, to put the world on notice. And for me, to be one of the best basketball players on the court every night. So if you answer when your thirst calls, Sprite's for you.
Well, you know it is for me then. My drive has got me to where I am today as an actor. And Sprite is for the makers and the creators like myself, the visionaries that put in the work to build their dreams. Whether you're shooting a cinematic masterpiece on your phone, filling your notebooks with sketches, or you're up all night turning your bedroom into the booth, keep going. Thirst is everything.
Having equity and being a managing partner in my own mortgage company at the age of 35 has quenched my thirst to be as successful as I wanted, but even that hasn't stopped my drive towards greatness. Sprite is made for those who thirst for success and are working to make their dreams a reality.
So keep going and remember to be true to yourself. Obey your thirst, Sprite. This episode is sponsored by Helix, and I just bought a Helix mattress for my post-training naps. It's really nice and designed for my body. However, everybody is unique, and everyone sleeps differently. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences.
Models with memory foam layers to provide optimal pressure relief if you sleep on your side. Models with a more responsive foam to cradle your body for essential support in stomach and back sleeping positions. Plus, enhanced cooling features to keep you from overheating at night.
And if your spine needs some extra TLC, they got you. Every Helix mattress has a hybrid design, combining individually wrapped steel coils in the base with premium foam layers on top. It's the perfect combination of comfort and support.
Look, I took the Helix sleep quiz, and I was matched with the perfect mattress that suits all my needs and helps me have a quality night's rest. Not only is the mattress the best I've slept on, but the setup was fast and easy. The Helix mattresses are delivered in a box and straight to your door for free.
Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/podcastp. That's helixsleep.com/podcastp. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. I want to talk about with the addition of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the attention that they've been getting is mostly positive, but then there's some negative attention when it comes to, the play against Caitlin Clark where she's pushed in the back. And just, there's been multiple plays where she's faced the bad side of some physicality. What is your take on where the WNBA is from a narrative standpoint of where it's going?
I think the WNBA narrative right now is Caitlin Clark, and I think that's a good narrative, but it's also not the only narrative. But that's the narrative we're pushing in the media. Caitlin is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things. But she also has to go through that first rookie year, and that sucks. Like, rookie years, you're the number one pick. People are going to go after you, whether it's for the right or wrong reasons, but people are going to go after you because they see greatness in you. And what the WNBA is measuring one type of greatness against the other greatness. So am I saying it's right that she's being pushed in the back? No, that's foul. That has no space in the sport, and we all know that. But when I'm watching ESPN and the only highlight you can see is how hard she gets screened, I think it takes away from the actual point of basketball.
The game, right?
Like, yeah, you will have hard screens. Like, when I was setting screens, guards were running through me, and I fell down trying to set a screen. And that is not being shown on TV. Like, we can't be too soft now. But, of course, like, her and Angel Reese and even people like Rickea Jackson, like, people don't even talk about Rickea. Like, she was not being shown a lot at the WNBA draft. It was only Caitlin. And I think that's a problem about our narrative right now, that we're not using the wave of women's basketball and women's empowerment that Caitlin brings and really, really amplified in an open eye to support all the women, but to kind of keep that lens still small on the things that matter, but it's not the only thing. If the public eye would have been on Stewie, like, winning 4 championships, like, no shade, but Caitlin didn't win.
Right.
Stewie won 4 times in a row, and if it would have had the same attention, we would have been further. But people like Stewie were having interviews saying, hey, why don't you show the NCAA tournament on TV? Like, we didn't even have games on TV. So I think year by year, we all have to fight together to pave the way for the future generation. And this generation right now, they're really profiting of what people like Candace Parker did, even Asia, like the women before them. And I think it's just great now to see that she's someone that gets $1 million Nike deal. Like, that's amazing. This is what we want. And we're happy about that. And now we have to look at our whole collective, like, hey, why can't it be more women that gain generational wealth of the game of basketball? So I think we just all need to be a little bit also, I think this is a race thing here that's going on in America. And people are really just making everything so much more than what it actually is, which is basketball and the development of women's basketball. Like, this is amazing. So I'm happy about all the new fans. I'm happy about it. This is cool.
Getting a lot of attention.
A lot of attention.
What advice would you give to someone like Caitlin? Because when I look at her, not only does she have to worry about the basketball side of it, but you can hear all these different dialogues and all these different conversations around race. And so I think she is in an interesting situation. And whether she decides to start speaking about some of that stuff personally, I think it could be a good thing to open up more conversations about race, as you mentioned, just kind of the state of the United States of America and where people stand within race. But what advice would you give Caitlin with having to balance not just this orange basketball, but also almost having pressure or kind of the need to get into that race type of conversation?
Right. I think it's really, really hard to put that much pressure on a young woman to be a spokesperson for things that the United States and really globally and historically we have struggled with as an entire society. To make her the spokesperson for that is a lot. But can you talk about white privilege? Yes, you can. You can. But do you have to be the spokesperson for it? I don't think so. If that doesn't come from her, I think it's unfair to put that burden onto someone. But I do think it's good to, as a society, to like have that conversation. Why are we so set and on certain things, and why do certain players get more endorsement deals than other players, right? Like we have a lot of masks representing women in the league, and the numbers for them look very different than for a beautiful feminine representing women that, you know, wear heels and are more sexually appealing to the general population than someone who might not be. And it goes from, you know, intersectional struggles to, you know, struggles that white women also face. You know, she was sexualized also in an interview, which is unacceptable. So it really goes from politics, which were just so blown up also in the tournament. Like, it was just all so heated, but I do think she's doing a great job. And I would just tell her, like, I'm proud of you. Keep doing your thing and try to blend out the noise. Everyone has some type of different noise around them, and it looks different for everyone. And she's just now, like, all eyes on her. And what I hope for her is that she still knows that there's a community of women around her that want her to succeed. Not everyone wants someone to fail. Because if you want someone to fail, like, you're jealous, you're not great if you want someone else to fail, because you can't prove your own greatness, in my opinion. So I just hope she knows that. And I don't know, I feel like you guys feel the same way, right? About the collective strength that you have.
Yeah.
It's so strong. And I think there's also a reason why people tell athletes not to speak up politically, because there's so much power in the collective and so much power in the knowledge that we also have as, you know, Black people on the forefront of the camera. It's always been like that. Like, if you go back to Muhammad Ali, like, there's a reason why he had to endure, you know, jail time. Yeah. So.
Just because the power that he had, right?
Exactly.
I do like, a bit of me thinks it's Caitlin is, because, you know, she's been used to success. She's been used to, you know, the game kind of being hers in college, right? Like, she was the biggest star. She could put on, and she just knew what she could do and what she was capable of. And I think a little bit is more gamesmanship more than, you know, F Caitlin because she thinks she's this. I think veteran players are more so taking a stance of, like, no, this is a different league you're in now. Like, this is how we play here. You know what I mean?
I love the vets. They're so hard.
Yeah, like when I watch games, I don't necessarily
though.
like, oh, they're out to just get Caitlin because she's, you know, the number one pick. Like, I think what she's done for the game has been awesome. She's definitely elevated the game from the second. Like, she didn't even pick up a ball yet, and then, you know, now Indiana has all televised games, and I was just like, damn. Like, I've been in Indiana, and it hit different for me being in Indiana and watching, you know, when Tamika was there. And so, yeah, but I do think she's carrying a lot. She has a lot on her shoulders. She's doing a great job of it, though. I think, you know, she's figuring out how to brand herself through this as well. So, yeah, big shout out to Caitlin for holding it down. I think Angel Reese is doing an amazing job. I think a lot of the women that are in that same draft class, Cam and Brink, you talked about Rakia Jackson.
Peely, she went to Minnesota.
Minnesota. Kate Martin is in Las Vegas, right? She's been an amazing
She got
player
some minutes. Yeah, she got some minutes too.
Yeah, so I don't think they're getting, you know, enough recognition, because I think everything is just self-centered on what Caitlin is doing. And, you know, so
and you know
we
what
got to do a
annoys
better
me?
job with that.
Actually, yeah. What annoys me is when when Caitlin only dropped 3 points against New York, the whole conversation was around that and not around a team with great players.
That did something good that day.
Yeah, like
With how
we
Liberty
won
played.
against Indy, and the only narrative is, hey, what did she do? And not even if we look at the Indy team, like Aaliyah Boston is the number 1 pick, and you dare not to say her name once, that's not okay.
I still haven't heard it.
That's not okay.
I still haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Like, how can we not talk about, Aaliyah Boston or Alyssa Smith, who are
Right.
amazing players who are on the same team, who then also have to profit. And now you can maybe say, hey, maybe now Caitlin can use her voice or like her social media, like, to support your teammates too, because you want them to support you too on the court, which did not happen. And now questions arise of like, hey, what's actually going on? And that shouldn't be the case, right?
Yeah.
So just also pushing the public narrative around, hey, like there's other players in the league and there's other players that are better in the league. Like she's not coming in and destroying everyone.
Right.
Like Candace Parker got the MVP her rookie season.
Right.
That's crazy.
And she's far from that right now, from what it
Right.
looks like. So just, pushing that narrative too and actually knowing what's going on and knowing history of women's basketball, not coming into the league as a new fan and trying to say, oh, like you should be thankful. Thankful for what? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but like we've been pushing charters for years now, and it was supposed to happen probably most likely this year. So people always want to talk, and I don't know. Like I don't know.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, and that's no insult. It's more so like a criticism towards people that are new fans and don't know women's basketball. They don't know what they're talking about, but everyone wants to chat. Like, you don't know how women play. We're a little feisty. Like
So the charter planes were already in, like, you guys were already getting the charter planes before Caitlin Clark.
I think she really like forced it. Like it was like, okay, now there's really like no conversation around it. Now it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But even last year with BG returning home, like there was a whole security issue with it. Even, people from New York, I mean, they had a whole thing. Vegas already chartered. So like it was already going on, but now I feel like now everything had to come together. So it was more so like, okay, well now it really has to happen, and there were no excuses left anymore. I think she made it possible, and Angel Reese too, that there's no excuses for not having charters anymore. But you can't just organize charters for a whole league just like that.
Right.
So
Had to be playing.
It's going to be interesting to see how like the other WNBA players, and I'm sure even for you, like in the sense of like you mentioned being political, it's going to be interesting to see how WNBA players talk about her, because at the same time, people don't, yes, you want to, say other people laid the foundation and whatnot, but you also don't want people to think that you are hating. You know what I mean?
in the end of it all, we're all competitors, and like I'm not her teammate, like it's also annoying. Obviously it's annoying when you're being asked about her in an interview when you didn't even play her. So that's just like, why are we talking about her? Why are you not talking about Asia getting her new shoe? Like, why are you not talking about Stewie getting her own signature? Like, there's just so much more to the WNBA than Caitlin. But Caitlin is the face right now, and that's also good. Like, she's selling out gyms, of course. Like, why would you hate against that? We had a sold-out home opener. Like, I think it was a practice game. Like, it wasn't even serious. And it was sold out. Like, we benefited from that because now we have all our fans there, and they're excited, and you have new people coming into a market. She is her own economy, and that is amazing. And she's being paid her worth. And now we need to get other women on board to get paid their worth, because she's the reflection of what should happen in women's sports.
I dig it.
Yeah, I love that. And you just think of the growth behind her, right? When you have Paige come into the league, when you have
Juju
come into the
I'm
league.
a fan.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you just think
She
of
said right
growth
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
Good,
where the
good.
W will be in a couple years from now. I mean, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Speaking of the rookies, this year with Caitlin and the Angel, they going seeing how physical the WNBA is. I want to ask you, how did you adjust? When did you first realize how the WNBA was so physical? When did you see that? And how did you adjust when you arrived as a rookie?
I realized that in practice already. When Kayla Thornton was defending me, and she's with the Liberty now, and she has like almost like natural six pack. She'll just like
Strong as shit.
body you, yeah. And she just guarded me, and I felt like I bounced off her, and I tried to initiate contact. So I realized that in practice already. The way you get blocked, you're also like, how did you just? I didn't have that feeling before. So just that. But then also at some point you realize, no, you're here for a reason and you belong. And I mean, I'm not the type of person to get back down. So I'm just like, all right, you get at me, I'll get at you. So we'll see the next position, how that will go. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely, I think, a humbling experience, but it's also driving you to be better, to want to become better. And if it's not driving you to want to become better, then you don't belong in the league. Like, it's not enough spots for that. Like, you can't have the mentality of feeling sorry for yourself because it's hard, but like everyone has to kind of go through the hard time and that hardship to actually become the best, because nothing is handed to you, right? Mm-hmm. In life.
Right.
Yeah.
Got to work for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, if I was a rookie and they was doing that to me, I'd just be like, you know what, I'm gonna get better next year and do you the same way next year.
Yeah, you just gotta, wipe up the blood and go.
What was the welcome to the WNBA moment for you?
It's more personally, I shot horrible from the three, and
in a game,
19% my rookie season. And
for the year,
yeah, it was horrible, and I just thought, like, do I suck?
I was 21. I think I was like 21%. So.
Oh, see, so didn't you feel horrible?
Yeah, I did.
Like,
and they were wide open. So like,
yeah, and like, look where you are now, right?
That's that joke when they used to say, "Why you always pass the one wide open? You don't are because you break."
There's a reason why you're wide open.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's horrible when they don't even guard you.
When they don't guard you, that's how it was my rookie year. And it was not only like I'm fighting the opponents, but I'm fighting my teammates at the same time. It's like I'm wide open, but they're asking me like, "Why did you shoot that?"
Swing it.
Yeah. Not swing it. That's
Yeah.
My feet was set. What do you mean?
I was ready.
That's perfect. Well, I shot it.
Nah. But Connecticut Suns, my first game against them, like Alyssa Thomas and Dewana Bonner, like they violated us. It was like 20 points to 2. It was just awful.
That's a
and
hell
it
of a
didn't
tandem
stop,
right there.
and it just kept going. And we were like a rookie team. Like there's a reason why they have a second pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, help. In that situation,
What did you score that game?
I don't know. I think I had like 16.
That's pretty good for a rookie.
Yeah, it was all right.
That's good.
It was all right. I had a good rookie year. But it was just awful. It didn't stop. And then you realize, no, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
But now every time I feel like it's personal. Every time I go against Connecticut, I will never forget that game.
Never forget that game.
Yeah. But respect, like you play against,
Nah, you got to go against the best. Like
exactly.
I think that's what you expect though. Like all rookies coming in, like there's going to be rookies in this next year class. Can't wait to play you. And they've been idolizing and watching you. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? Like
that's
you take, the circle. It's like the circle of life in basketball. Like you look at Anthony Edwards and how he's competing against KD, and he's calling him old, but at the same time, man, that's my favorite player. That was my GOAT. Like so, it keeps us young, and it raises the level for the next generation as well. So you got to keep that. Got to keep that in mind. You mentioned battling against Alyssa Thomas, obviously Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart. These are all talented forwards in the league, right? And these are your matchups primarily. Like, give us a little bit of those matchups that like make them tough matchups for you, or make them fun matchups for you.
Yeah. So now, the toughness is fun to me, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to crack a code to me. You have to scout them differently. You watch a lot more film. Like when I go against Asia, to me, she's like, okay, let me crack that code. Like, let me measure myself against her, because she's the player that blocks me the most, for example. Like it's just noted. And from year to year to year, it became less, for example, right? Like from year to year, I become better. Like I can feel like okay, I can guard Stewie now. Okay, I can go against them. But what makes them so good is that they just have a second, third, fourth option. Like you take their first away the first year, right? All right, okay, you think you're cool. No, or they still get their first option. Then the second year, nah, okay, I'm still colder than you or whatever. No, just I'm also kind of positionless, so I feel like I also had to learn how to defend a professional 4. I had to learn how to defend a 3, like just being able to be on every single position. You have to learn every single player has their unique asset. You have to learn that asset and try to take that away. But great players, they're going to score on you. So just learning how to deal with that and learning how to actually go more with the flow of the whole basketball game. You can't just look at one possession and think, okay, this is it. You can't just look at one player and think this is it because they can still pass. You can't have 3 people on her because she has great teammates around her. Right. So who's around that player that makes them that player as well? Like she's not just Asia, like it's the aces, right? They have a great team around them. So when we played them in the playoffs last year, it was really hard, but I feel like that prepared me mentally now for this year. Like I feel like I'm going to approach the game completely different than I did last year. So yeah, year by year, growing, learning.
It sounds like, so you like being a two-way player, like you like playing both ends.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that always been like that?
No.
So it's new. You just started to enjoy defense.
Yeah. I feel like I just enjoy the game, right? But I sucked on defense. Like I would get beat every single time on a wing. It was just like, oh, you're so fast. But now I know how to use my height, my length.
Your length,
I'm not going to run out to you like crazy.
Right.
Yeah. And like, again, people now. So you're not going to run out against someone that's not going to shoot against you.
You know your personnel.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's like the matchup without like, who's like the matchup that you like most look forward to?
The MVP. Yeah.
Playing Asia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say Asia and Stewie. Like those two are really individually to me, the players where I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. That. Competitive.
I am, yeah.
Like who's the toughest? Like who's your toughest? Like that gives you the toughest time? Like guarding you.
Guarding me, I would say Kia Stokes. She's also on the Aces. She just we're like sisters, and I feel like she just knows me.
Yeah.
And we played at Fenerbahce in Istanbul for 3 years together. So we practice against each other all the time. So for me, it's hard to go against her, but I got her now. In my mind now, I got everyone, so it's cool. Yeah.
There we go.
All this good stuff we were just talking about. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say the Jordan year because in 2023 you had an amazing basketball season. Okay, so we're gonna call it Jordan year. You won first off in 2023. You won the EuroLeague championship in the beginning of the year. Okay, then after that you had an incredible WNBA season. You went on to win most improved player. Okay, then you went on to get the All-Star team. Am I right? Am I going good? And then you made the All WNBA team. So with all that said, your Jordan year, what was your favorite part?
That was just a year of winning right there.
Hard.
She's got the jacket on too.
A lot of years.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, MJ. Thanks, MJ. My favorite part, I would say overall, looking at the growth of our team in Dallas. Obviously, I loved winning EuroLeague. That to me, it was like a stamp in my book that I needed to solidify myself also in Europe as, a European player. I think I take pride in that. So checking that off my list, but the way we just grew with Dallas was really cool to see because my rookie season, it was really hard. Like we won 6 games and now we're in the semifinals last year. So after that, I was crushed. Like after that last game, I just cried the whole time. I just felt so empty because I was so disappointed in myself too, because I felt like I didn't perform right. So just being hard on myself. But then looking back, I was really thankful for that lesson and for the growth that I've had, even, with my teammates together. Like we were able to go that far. We were able to, get into the semifinals of the best league in the world. And that's something you don't really realize in that moment because you only see failure. But now I really see the growth that I've made individually and collectively.
2023 tattoo on your shoulder. You
No,
think
I'm not satisfied with it though.
That was a good year though.
It was a good year.
Amazing.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great year.
Okay, we ain't gonna do that.
We
then.
gotta
don't
win.
want
I
that
gotta
tattoo.
win.
We don't want that 2023
Yeah,
tattoo there.
yeah. I'm thankful though.
That's a lot of accolades. That's what I'm saying. You know? But
you're right,
next
you're
one.
right. You're right. You're
So I
right.
know you've been out because of a shoulder surgery earlier this year. However, you spoke about how you are definitely going to be playing in the 2024 Olympics for Germany. And just tell us what that means to you, being able to play in the Olympics for Germany.
Means everything. It's like a dream come true. Yeah, when I don't know, I still can't really believe it that I'm gonna be at the Olympics because I never really thought that Germany could go that far. We've never, had that type of star power. But now with my sister Nyara, with Leonie Fiebig and other players like Marie, we have people that really came together and did an amazing tournament in Brazil. And the fact that we qualified is like first time in German history. So that speaks a lot for like the country itself and how far, we came as a German federation, even in women's basketball. Like nobody would have thought. We have people on a team, with jobs. So this is really special to us. It's not like in America where you have 12 All-Stars on a team. Like, no, we really fought for this so hard, not to take anything away from, other countries, but I think we're really just at such a special time in German history with sports and with women's sports that this means so much more to me than you can imagine. But being able to participate at the Olympics, like you're surrounded by the greatest athletes at the highest, to me, that's the highest form of sports you can ever reach in your life. And that was a goal of mine forever. I didn't know how I'm going to get to the Olympics, but that was like, I could have never even thought I was gonna be there this year. So I'm happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Germany is up. They just won the FIBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Germany's up. They won FIBA last
Yeah,
what,
the
20?
men too.
Yeah,
that's
there
a
we
whole
go.
wave right now. It's
Germany
so cool.
is we got to go to Germany. We got to go to Berlin.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there too. Actually, we're
Okay.
all gonna.
You be in Berlin?
In Berlin, yeah, on the 19th.
We working out on your court.
Oh yeah.
We'll do a one day clinic right there on your court.
Okay, all right, I'll hold you to it.
All right,
Yeah.
we going.
Okay, cool.
We going?
Write that down.
Let's do it.
I want to go. I'm in. Hey, y'all, let me put you on to something real quick. I got something you need to check out. Woo! You ever heard of BLK app? That's BLK, not black. The BLK app. If not, you're missing out. Oh, my God. So check it out. BLK is the largest dating lifestyle app made specifically for the black community. Now, for those thinking it's just the same old scene, nah, BLK switch things up. Oh, they acting brand new. So sure, you can find your little boo thing if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking to just make friends, you can do that. You can network, group chat with folks based on their shared interests or whatever. You know what? Look, find out about all the events happening near you. BLK got all that too. Oh, they doing things. Look, y'all, the app's been around for almost 7 years now. Oh my God, over 11 million people have downloaded it. It's going crazy. That's like what? The population of New York City and LA combined? It's a lot of people. Look, if you downloaded the app before and deleted it, you're stupid, because I'm looking at shit. Re-download it, dummy. It's because they introduced a bunch of new features and there's new people to meet on there. I just found some yesterday. I ain't gonna tell you a name. But anyway, I did mention this. I'm gonna bring it up. It's free. Yep. So go download BLK today, the App Store on Google Play. It's free. I'm gonna say it one more time. It's free. It's for us. Check it out. Let me know what you think.
This episode is sponsored by Coinbase. Coinbase is the best and easiest place to get started with crypto.
Coinbase is the most trusted, only publicly traded crypto exchange. And honestly, the best way to get started learning about crypto is simply to try it.
That's all I did. It's easy to buy a little crypto and get started investing with as little as $20. It's also a great place to learn about crypto. Get the latest crypto news directly.
You might have heard of Bitcoin, which was the world's first cryptocurrency and still the most popular, but Coinbase has over 200 digital assets on its platform you can trade, including Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, and many more.
Fans of this podcast get $20 in Bitcoin when you sign up and make a trade today using promo code PODCASTP at Coinbase.com/partner/podcastp. Coinbase, crypto moves money forward. Speaking of working out, we have a new segment here on Podcast P called Pay and Dividends, presented by Coinbase, where we explore the game day routines of our guests. You mentioned being a little superstitious, right? We want to know, what is your pregame breakdown, your routine going into a game, and how does that routine pay off for your success on court?
So generally, I would say I eat really healthy, and I just...
What's really healthy?
Yeah, go to a meal.
No, I eat very healthy.
Okay.
I would eat, the night before the game, I'll probably eat salmon, rice, and spinach, or just
Pretty
keeping
healthy.
it
So
simple.
fish
Primarily chicken. Not really red meat before the game, or I try to
nothing
reduce
fried.
that anyway. No, nothing fried.
I'm just making sure you said all this, but you didn't
Not
say
for
what
me.
it-
Hey, whatever works for people, right? But not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I eat lots of fruit. I try to stay organic. But I think in general, just growing up in Gambia, I've always been around healthy foods and been around organic food. So yeah. Anyway, I nap.
You take a nap.
That nap,
Okay.
and then I feel like then I'm really into my game mode. Once I wake up, I take my little shower. I blast some music. I drink my energy drink in the shower. Actually,
What we listening to?
Yeah.
it depends on the day. But I love Tim's.
Tim's.
I love Tim's. Oh my God.
Tim's
If I need to get pumped up, I love me some Glorilla. I
Okay.
love Glow.
Glorilla, okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go.
Maybe a little Drake.
Yeah, that too.
Love
but
it. Love it.
I'm sorry.
Love that.
Everyone
Kendrick.
in here has listened and celebrated a song, so I don't care. Yes, good. But I also blast some Kendrick.
Okay. Thank you.
No. We didn't hear none of that.
Don't try me.
They not like us. They not like us.
That song is so funny because I'm like, dang, I'm not American, but I am. So what can dang, Kendrick, you're putting me into a situation here.
Same.
But I always have my outfit, so I like to get dressed up. I like that little moment to myself where I'm like, all right, I look fly, I look good. Let's step out. And I always do, I don't really wear makeup during the game, but I do my eyebrows, lashes, a little lip gloss, have it pop in. And then I go to the game and I'm in a zone. Like after I step out of my shower, I feel like I'm in my zone. And then I don't really talk to, I don't take care of tickets anymore, on game day. Like, oh, can I have a ticket? Then after that, it's for me, I'm like, okay, my assistant will handle everything. I'm in game mode and I'm ready to hoop. I do a little Pilates before I shoot, I stretch. Just getting into the flow of the game, yeah.
Okay. And do you feel out of sync if everything you mentioned, if something doesn't happen, do you feel out of sync?
Let's say I would wake up too late for my nap and I couldn't shower.
Yeah.
I would have to shower in the arena. That has never happened to me, but I already know if I couldn't shower before the game, nah.
That kind of sets
okay.
that kind of locks you in. That shower locks you in.
You got that old dirt on you from yesterday. You got to clean it off. I know.
Not from yesterday.
Yes, I know.
Really from the morning.
From
just
the
because
morning.
we have walkthrough in the morning. So
Yeah.
I
get that dirt.
probably shower 3 times on game day.
For real though.
Yeah.
For real.
Right, if you really think about it. You're in that cold tub, you have to shower.
You better.
Yeah.
Well, we done been nosy enough all in your business and asking you questions and telling you about yourself. So
I should ask y'all about your dating life at this point.
This is the part of the show.
Yeah.
When it's almost at the end,
Yeah.
you gonna get the last question.
Oh.
So the last question is you get to ask this man whatever you want. This man, me, whoever. But I will hope you want to ask this man about some basketball questions and being a professional or something. But it's in your court. Ask what you want to ask. The last question is on you.
Well, since I have that time and I am actually a fan, I'll be like, have you watched some games of me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's some advice you would give me as a player?
So I was explaining.
That's a good question.
That's a
Thank
great
you.
question. That's a great
Using my
question.
time.
First of all, I love your game, your play style. I think you are very versatile, can do a lot of things. What I do notice is knowing, right, like defenders that are guarding you. I think a lot of times you can take advantage, whether it's smaller players guarding you. Because when it's people like size, from what I've saw, you can dominate those matchups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a quickness to you, your ball handling skills. And for the average 6'2", 6'3" and up girls, they have trouble staying in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I have saw games where, whether it was a switch or they put a smaller player on you, and then you trying to work through that, which is what we all go through when smaller players guard us. I think that's when you unlock your game right there, and you take your time. You become more of an isolation player when you get to a spot, and like that's how you got to see the game. Because
more in ISO situation.
More in ISO, but when they put smaller people on you, like because it was the same situation for me, right? I used to be so into my ball handling that I can get by anybody, and when they put smaller guys, like now I want to really show I can handle it.
Yeah.
And it took Brian Shaw to kind of be like, yo, they're not gonna grow. You're 6'9". Go to one spot, ask for the ball, and then look on the floor, look for a spot to go and raise up and just shoot right over them.
Yeah.
And then that's what I would say for your game. And I think you're scoring a goal because you can be a playmaker and a scorer from, say you like, I don't know necessarily where you like to catch it. Like, what would you say your kill spot is?
I would say on that, like in a mismatch.
In a mismatch, like you get an ISO situation and you got
in the paint on the right side.
On the right, so the right block or right mid?
Right block.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say right block.
Oh, it was perfect.
Yeah.
So you're right-handed. No, you're left.
Kind of.
Yeah. But you shoot left-handed.
Lefty. Yeah.
But so you got the fade to the middle with the left.
Yeah.
But you can open up and see the whole floor. So you kind of have a great skill spot to already begin with. I would say just utilizing more of just your size when you got smaller women on you, and then get into a spot and raise up. But other than that, like I said, I've seen you go against girls your size, and like those don't seem to be the problems. It's just when there's smaller, quicker defenders on you is where it kind of
like getting that shot off right away, kind of.
Yeah. That's the only. So just take your time. Just be aggressive when you can get those switches and turn it more into a ISO from a stand spot more so than trying to just take it off the bounce and create something. We hope for a healthy recovery and an amazing finish to this year in your Olympic run. We enjoyed having you here on Podcast
Come on,
P.
Unicorn.
Thank you so much.
The unicorn.
This is good.
And you guys continue to watch the W and support it. We out.